The Indiana Fever just took on the Atlanta Dream, and that game totally irritated me. It irritated me. Every single thing about that game irritated me to the last buzzer. I don't know how the Indiana Fever lost that. From that rally, from this amazing performance we have from Caitlin Clark, the amazing performance from Aliyah Boston, everything was aligned for the Indiana Fever to have a perfect win, and they lost. I don't know what that last play was. Honestly, I don't know why we went to Natasha Howard. I don't know why when she got that rebound, you didn't call timeout because you had a timeout. I'm not sure what was going on there. I feel like Caitlin only gave Natasha the ball because she didn't have anyone else to give it to. And at that point, I felt like you could have called timeout. I do not like that last play. It was very irritating. But the Indiana Fever were horrible on defense early. You saw them kind of get it together for spurts. But there's times where I'm watching this team and I'm thinking, are we any better defensively than we were last year, at least interior-wise? It feels like you got Alyssa Smith on the court when DeWanna Bonner is guarding, or when Natasha Howard is down there guarding, or even when Aliyah Boston is down there. The Indiana Fever don't have players who can stop great interior finishers. Brittany Griner, she looked like Nikola Jokic down there. It was very, very shameful to watch the Indiana Fever on defense, and the rotations were bad. They gave up so many open three-point shots, which gave them a very big deficit early in this game. You got to give the girls props, though. They came back from down double digits to make it a one-point game. They had the lead very late. They should have won that game. I thought the foul call on Ryan Howard at the end was sketchy. I think she did initiate that contact. I don't think that should have been a shooting foul to give the Dream the lead. We could complain about the refereeing all day. The Indiana Fever missed a whole lot of free throws, which is also why they lost the game. So that was just it hurts as a basketball fan, because Caitlin Clark gave you so much. Aliyah Boston gave you so much. Those two were literally amazing. It was like Kobe and Shaq out there, but they just could not get the victory. The missed shots, the 4 missed free throws in a row from Natasha Howard. It was just a bad game. But yeah, that's enough of the talking. You guys have heard my take on the game for the most part. Let's break down the film so you can hear even more and we can relive this horrible loss from the Indiana Fever. So the first 3 minutes of this game were pretty bad for the Indiana Fever. The score is 8-2. We're going to pick it up here. We're going to get to the reason why the Indiana Fever were down in this game. But first, I want you to look at the fact that off this handoff, 2 defenders are going to go with Caitlin Clark, but she just gets down low, gets to the paint. Aliyah Boston had a monster game. I'm not going to let this loss ignore the fact that Aliyah Boston looks so much better. She looks like a force to be reckoned with down there. I have to give her all the props. Off the court, I love Aliyah Boston. I love her sticking up for Caitlin in the last game against the Sky. There's so many reasons to love Aliyah Boston, and this is another reason. She is improved her game. She looks like a superstar out there right now. I know you guys were excited because I was super excited seeing her manhandle everybody in the paint tonight. She was amazing. We're not going to ignore the fact that she was amazing in this game, but Caitlin Clark getting down low early and attacking the rim is opening up the space for Aliyah Boston, because usually off that pick and roll, 2 defenders are going to go with Caitlin Clark and they're going to kind of leave Aliyah Boston. Well, right here, Caitlin Clark, even though the 2 defenders go with her, she's able to get to the lane. That's going to make the defenders even more focused on Caitlin, because if you're already doubling her, you're already sending 2 players to her and she's still making layups. That's going to give the defense even more pressure to Caitlin Clark. You're going to have 3 to 4 players every single possession watching Caitlin. That's going to open up things for Aliyah Boston, and you're going to see that as we go on in this video. For the Fever, this was a game of runs. They kept going down big time, but then they would go on a run and get themselves back into the game, and then they would just get cut off by the Dream again and again and again. This is the Fever on their first initial run, and look at this dribble handoff fake from Kelsey Mitchell. You see the Warriors do this all the time. We talked about it in my last video when Aliyah Boston did it. Look at Kelsey Mitchell doing it. This shows you that Coach Steph White has been in the lab trying to teach these players how to capitalize on the gravity that Caitlin Clark pulls. Defenders are always going to initially try to go with Caitlin Clark, so off these fake dribble handoffs, you're going to get easy layups. This kept the Fever in the game. They would go down big time, but then plays like this would get them back into it. But it's this next play. This is why the Indiana Fever lost. This is a beautiful play. Aliyah Boston has it on that low post. DeWanna Bonner cuts back door, but the pass just wasn't perfect. The pass just wasn't enough. It doesn't get through, and that's a turnover. It was just sloppy basketball tonight, man. They didn't have everything that you need to win a game. And obviously, they played at a level that you would have thought they would have lost by 10 plus. The fact that they only lost by 1 point just shows that this team has resilience. It shows this team is actually really good. But even still, man, it's just these bad passes. It's the missed layups. It's the missed free throws. All these things cause the Indiana Fever to lose. Kelsey Mitchell also had a very slow start to this game. I don't think she had 1 3-pointer in the first half of this game. And you look at her coming off this screen right here, and she just gets blocked. She's just not able to get her shot off. They're playing amazing defense. She ends up getting it back. back, misses the three-point shot. She did not start off with that spark that usually gets the Indiana Fever leads early. Like usually in the first quarter, Kelsey Mitchell will hit like a 3 or 2, and it'll give the Indiana Fever momentum. Like her pushing the pace, getting those easy layups, gives everybody the drive to want to run faster. You didn't see too much of that in this game. Kelsey does kind of get hot later on in the game, and she does end up with the stats, but Kelsey Mitchell didn't play as well as I think she could have, and she wasn't able to get into the groove that we usually see Kelsey Mitchell get into. So I think they're playing better defense on Kelsey Mitchell right now. Like they're trying to prioritize her. Usually last year you would see Caitlin Clark just get triple teamed and Kelsey Mitchell's wide open all the time. Not in this game. They were trying their best to guard Kelsey Mitchell, but she does get off and get into a groove later. So Kelsey Mitchell's not the reason you lose because she did score. Now we talked about the refereeing in this game, and this play is actually a foul on Kelsey Mitchell that is not called, but you saw it on Caitlin Clark all game as well. There was just no calls all around the board from these refs. I did not like it at all. You see Caitlin Clark getting the ball up to Kelsey Mitchell. There's no way you're not going to say this is a foul. There's no way that's not a foul. That is a foul. That is definitely a foul. 100% a foul. But, look at Natasha Howard getting that offensive rebound, going back up with it. You like to see her getting those offensive rebounds, being around the paint. This was not a great game from Natasha. The hate for Natasha is going to come later on in this video. There's just a little bit of hate. We love all the Fever players, but there is going to be some animosity towards Natasha Howard late in this video because, what were you doing on the last play? Seriously. The 4 missed free throws in a row in the fourth quarter. What are we doing? Please. No, seriously. But, no, honestly, this was a good rebound, good putback for Natasha Howard. We can save the hate for later. For now, let's just focus on this was a great play. But I think that should have been a foul call from the refs, and you saw this. This is setting the tone. You're at the 5-minute mark in the first quarter. You're seeing that the refs aren't going to be competent in this game. You have the Fever having to use up 2 of their challenges, or their only 2 challenges, because the refs were incompetent in this game. Do better. Now, once again, despite the fact that the Indiana Fever did lose this game, Caitlin Clark was electric. Look at this play for her pushing the pace in transition. What a pass to Natasha Howard. She makes a layup. I like this play from Natasha Howard running the floor, getting the easy layup. There were some plays where Caitlin's passing it up the court. Natasha isn't able to corral the ball and go up with it, and you're like, Natasha, do better. But there were some plays where she does catch it. She does go up with it. This is an easy assist from Caitlin Clark, her pushing the pace in transition. She did what she was supposed to do in this game. Caitlin Clark had 27 and 11. She was simply electric. She was spectacular out there. She looked like the MVP of this league. She looked like the best player in this league. She was fantastic in this game. The Fever just lost. Now, I want you to look at this next play. Off this dribble handoff, look at those 2 defenders stay with Caitlin Clark, allowing Aliyah Boston to go into the paint. Caitlin Clark throws a dime of a pass down to Aliyah Boston, who makes that layup. Aliyah Boston is going to make use of the fact that defenders are always going to go with Caitlin, because look at the shots she's hitting. The shots she was hitting in this game were insane. We're going to get to them in this video, but they were absolutely insane. You can't do anything but double team her on that perimeter, because she's going to literally destroy you if you don't. But Caitlin Clark, off that double team, is always going to make the right pass. Aliyah Boston just looks so much better. These are not even the plays I'm talking about. I want to get to the plays later on in this video where Aliyah Boston is literally destroying the defense, man. She was spectacular in this game. If anybody's going to make use of the fact that Caitlin Clark draws that defensive attention, it's going to be Aliyah Boston. Now look at this next play. Off this rebound, Caitlin Clark is pushing the pace in transition, and look, she slows it down. She's waiting for someone to cut back door. She's waiting for someone to do something, and who knows better than Lexi Hole when to cut back door. An amazing cut from Lexi. What a pass from Caitlin Clark, and what a finish from Lexi Hole, man. She had no business making that shot, but that was a spectacular finish, just giving the Indiana Fever the momentum. They started off bad, but look at them getting back into the game. But this was the story of the game. The Indiana Fever would have a bad stretch, get back into it, bad stretch, get back into it, bad stretch, get back into it, and at the end, after them fighting all the way back, shifting the momentum of the game, they just weren't able to hang on to it. So on that last play, Lexi Hole did end up getting fouled, so she goes to the free throw line for the N1 opportunity, and she does miss the free throw. But I want you to look at Aliyah Boston getting the rebound down there, going back up with it, and there's no way that's not a foul. There's no way Brittany Griner doesn't literally maul Aliyah Boston right here. She's literally getting dogged on in that paint right there. She's getting hit. She's getting assaulted. Literally. There's no way you don't call foul here, man. These refs are so incompetent. What are we doing out there? That's easily a foul, man. Seriously, this is annoying. There was bad, incompetent refereeing in this game, which also shifted the outcome of it. Now, this is where the Indiana Fever lost the game. They could not guard in the interior, and on this play, Brittany Griner doesn't go up with it, but the Indiana Fever have been getting killed down there the whole first quarter, so they are doubling up in that paint. They are putting all of their defensive attention down in that paint, leaving the perimeter wide open, and the three-point shooters happen to make you pay today. It wasn't a very good look for the Indiana Fever. I think the interior defense problem is the problem that is causing all all these threes. It is the root of all your defensive struggles, because since you can't guard in the paint, you're sending your guards to help down there, to help the bigs who are incompetent on defense and just don't have the size on defense, and that's leaving three-point shooters wide open. You saw this all last year as well. The Indiana Fever have this same problem, and I guess it kind of really wasn't addressed because they don't have enough big bodies in the paint. And you brought in Michaela Timpson, who is a great interior defender, but she's not getting minutes right now, and she is young, so I can't be too mad at Steph White. I'm not going to sit here and act like Michaela being in the game is going to fix all their problems. I think she'd be better than, Brianna Turner for sure, but you can't act like she's going to fix all the problems. She is a rookie, and she's a raw talent, but you didn't really bring in any interior defense besides her. So, not playing her is kind of harsh to this team right now, because you need players to stop other big men in the paint, because if you don't have players who can help in the paint, you got your guards coming in to help in the paint, and when that doesn't work out, you're going to have three-point shooters wide open, and that's going to kill you. Now, like I already told you guys, I'm not going to let this loss take away from what Aliyah Boston was doing on the court. Look at her getting it on the post and going to work on that defender, literally destroying her, getting down low, easy layup from Aliyah Boston. I love her game. She's gotten so much stronger over the offseason. Her footwork is way more in control. You did see a few travel calls from Aliyah Boston. I think it was maybe just one, but you do see, the lapses with her footwork, but for the most part, her footwork is perfect. Her strength is amazing, and her touch around the rim is as good as it's always been. Aliyah Boston looks amazing. But once again, the Indiana Fever can't do anything on defense. The defense just looks horrible. Look at DeWanna Bonner down there being sealed off in the paint by Jones. She can't even do anything. She's too frail, too small to be down there playing defense. And when Jones gets the ball, man, there's no shot DeWanna Bonner's doing anything right here. Can I blame DeWanna? Not really. She shouldn't be on Jones in the first place on this possession, but you really don't have anyone to put on her. I mean, if you try to put Natasha Howard on there, it's the same predicament. They're both frail players who can't stop all that in the paint. And Aliyah Boston is good, but Aliyah Boston can't do all that on defense. And I think it'd be better if she was exerting all her energy on defense, but she's an offensive player. She's giving you 20 on the offensive end. She's going to be tired on defense. There's just some things that Aliyah Boston cannot do. You need more defensive help down in that paint. You need more interior bigs, or you're going to need your big men that you have existing to play bigger. Maybe put Demiris Dantas in the game. Michaela Timpson can fix a lot of your problems. Seriously, I keep going back to it, but it might be Michaela Timpson. I know she's a rookie, but you got to give her the shot. If you're going to give Brianna Turner the shot, you got to give it to Michaela Timpson. Now, I'm also not going to let this loss take away from what Caitlin Clark was doing on the court. She had 27 points, 11 assists in this game. She looked absolutely spectacular. Look at her going to her left, hitting this crazy fall-away three-point jump shot. Dude, she just looks so amazing out there. There's something about her game that is just so fun to watch. What she's doing in her back-to-back first games of the season, dude, is better than anybody, any point guard, whatever they're doing in the past 10 years in the WNBA. Nobody's doing this, literally. Nobody has 20-point, 10 assist games in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark is probably about to average it this season. Seriously, no one has ever averaged that in the WNBA. No one's really come close to averaging that. Caitlin Clark is probably going to average that. Seriously, she is on a different level than everybody. She was great throughout the entire game. They did not lose because of Caitlin Clark. I don't want to see that narrative being pushed. They did not come anywhere close to losing because of Caitlin Clark. It was their defense that lost in this game. Now, I want you to look at this next play. Look at Ryan Howard literally demolishing DeWanna Bonner on the offensive end. DeWanna Bonner cannot do anything here defensively, and Ryan Howard is just pulverizing her offensively. She's getting into an easy groove by just going down into that paint, attacking these weak defenders, and getting easy layups over them. And look at this next play. Look at Bree Turner down there trying to do something with Brittany Griner. There's nothing she can do with Brittany Griner down there on that low post. She's literally just insignificant to the play. Brittany's just doing whatever she wants to, regardless of if Bree Turner is there. Literally, it's an easy layup. Look, no matter who you put on Brittany Griner in this game, nobody was moving the needle. It wasn't Aliyah Boston. It wasn't Natasha Howard. It wasn't DeWanna Bonner. It wasn't Bree Turner. You didn't get to see Michaela Timpson try, but literally it doesn't seem like the Fever have anybody to put on this woman. If you play someone who's great interior-wise on offense, I don't think the Indiana Fever have an answer for that. And look at this next one. Ryan Howard is getting it down to the paint off of that pick and roll, and you see Kelsey Mitchell kind of inching down to try to help. Everybody's in that paint trying to stop him because, these players have been cooking you all game in the paint. So you're trying to just put all your effort down there, and you're leaving the shooters wide open, and the Dream have players who can hit those threes. So the threes are only happening because the other team is attacking you in the paint. So the Indiana Fever have to address the interior defense problem before they can address, the perimeter defense problem, because I think the perimeter defense problem is only happening because of the interior defense problem. But once again, Caitlin Clark was spectacular in this game. Look at her coming off this screen, stepping back. What a difficult shot. That is ridiculously difficult. You You shouldn't be able to make that shot, but you can if you're Caitlin Clark. She trains, she works on her game in this way. This is why everybody's tuning in to watch Caitlin Clark. It's because she's 10 times better than all of the competition. Ryan Howard's great, but she cannot do it how Caitlin Clark does it. She cannot be as entertaining as Caitlin Clark is. It's just something about the way she plays, the step backs, the difficult shots, the falling away. She's just better, man. Caitlin Clark is just a better player. She has more skill, and she's more fun to watch. Now, one thing I've noticed from the first preseason games and the first 2 games we've seen in the regular season so far from Caitlin Clark is that her mid-range game is just spectacular. It's on a different level, dude. Look at her going to her left. What a step back mid-range jump shot. It looks so pure. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Caitlin Clark in the mid-range. That part of her game is the part of her game. Her breaking the paint with that mid-range jump shot is what I love to see. And look at Caitlin Clark on this play. This is more of her being brilliant. Even though the Fever just gave up 2 on the other end, they're still down 7 points. You see Caitlin giving it up, playing off ball, and look at her coming off this amazing screen set by Aliyah Boston to get freed up and get this easy 3-point jump shot. It's not easy, though. She's way out there to shoot this shot, but she makes it look easy. Caitlin Clark's going to make that shot. She's literally spectacular, man. Her shooting is amazing. Now, I want you to look at the first play of the second half. This is just horrible defense from the Indiana Fever. It collapsed. You're leaving Ryan Howard wide open from the 3-point line. In the third quarter, she started off with 3 3-pointers. The Indiana Fever defense was so bad on the perimeter players, and it had a lot to do with you not being able to guard the interior, but the rotations were really off in this game as well. We weren't rotating well, so the Indiana Fever defense does need to pick up. It is only the second game in the season, and we did see them pick it up on defense late in this game. They did get back into it, which is something worth celebrating, but the defense was so bad that you were down double digits, which is why it was so difficult for the Indiana Fever to try to come back and win this game. Now, look at this next play. I do think Ryan Howard got lucky with this shot, but the switch was really bad from Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. They're switching, but they're so far away from the shooter, and they do it so slowly. It just looks bad, which is why Ryan Howard was able to get so much space and get that shot up. And look at this next one. Bree Turner's just getting whooped down there by Brittany Griner. There's nothing she can do. She is non-existent. It's like she doesn't even exist down there. That is nothing to Brittany Griner. Her defensive presence is nothing. She's getting free practice shots down there, and it was against everybody, not just Bree Turner. But once again, I would have really liked to see Michaela Timpson get in the game. Every one of those 8 minutes from Bree Turner were abysmal. She wasn't good on offense. She wasn't good on defense, and I know she hadn't got too many runs, so maybe she needs some time to adjust. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt, but from what I saw, man, put her on the bench, deep in the bench, give Michaela Timpson the runs. Now, once again, Aliyah Boston was just spectacular in this game. We're not going to let the loss take away shine from Aliyah Boston. Look at her on the fake dribble handoff, going to work on Brittany Griner. She is so strong, man. Look at her just backing down this defender. The footwork is amazing. Look at her just getting it up and over that defender. Her touch is just amazing around the rim. Aliyah Boston looked nice in this game, dude. Every single thing she was doing was looking really good besides her defense, besides her interior defense, but she was great in this game on offense. She's a force to be reckoned with. Like, she really can be the Shaq to Caitlin Clark's Kobe. So if she keeps it up, dude, there's just going to be so many good moments for the Indiana Fever in this season, but you got to fix up the defense if you want to win these games. Now, I want you to look at this next play. That's an amazing steal from Caitlin Clark to push the pace in transition and get it up to Brianna Turner, who does end up missing the layup, and she does get fouled, though. She makes 1 or 2 of those free throws, but that's not what I want you to focus on. I want you to focus on the fact that Caitlin Clark is getting steals. I don't know if you guys know this, but after the first slate of basketball games, I heard in one of Rosalina Lee's videos that Caitlin Clark actually had the #1 spot for defensive win shares. That was crazy to me. I did not know that was a thing, but she did. She was #1 in defensive win shares, so Caitlin Clark was really looking good in that first game. But, I saw it in the second game as well. We've already looked at 2 steals from Caitlin Clark so far in this game. She was playing pretty decent defense here. From all the film I was breaking down, I don't think Caitlin Clark was any of the reason for any of those defensive lapses. It was all interior. It wasn't really perimeter defense. Caitlin Clark wasn't, guarding the best player out there. So, it's not like she had a big defensive responsibility, but there were times last year where the Fever were giving up so many shots and it was like all Caitlin Clark. It was all Kelsey Mitchell. In this game, it was just like all interior defense. So it wasn't really Caitlin Clark, and she was playing great defense out there. So I wanted to give and shine light on that. Now, I want you to look at this next play. Brianna Jones has it down in that low post, and look who's guarding her. It's Lexi Hull. Now, Lexi Hull was amazing defensively in this game. When they put her on Ryan Howard, that's when Ryan slowed down. But still, man, you can't put Lexi Hull on Brianna Jones. And look at Brianna Turner trying to come down there and help. But what is she going to do? You can't help either. So you're just leaving the perimeter player open for no reason. That's an easy 3-point shot. You just gave up. So you gave up a 3 to try to stop a 2. And can I be mad at them? Not really. It's just you don't have the personnel to guard in that paint. If you're playing a team like the Atlanta Dream where they have a lot of big men, that's going to abuse the Indiana Fever. I don't think they have really the roster to be able to stop them on defense unless a lot of these players just aren't giving us everything they've got. It's just going to have to be a lot of training, a lot of these players just getting stronger down there so you can put up more of a fight, because it was just looking bad in this game. And at this point in the game, the Indiana Fever are down 14 points, but I want you to look at off this missed shot from Lexi Hull, Aliyah Boston getting that offensive rebound and going back up with it. She did not stop playing. She kept playing amazing basketball. Same with Caitlin Clark, which allowed the Indiana Fever to get back into this game and make it a dogfight at the end. Like, I'm really proud of this team. It was looking bad. You've seen the film. The team was looking bad here in that first half, but the fact that they were able to come back and it was 90-91 at the end shows you that this team is resilient and that they're a lot better, a whole lot better. And you also didn't have Sophie Cunningham out there. You could guess that if Sophie was playing, the Indiana Fever would have won the game. I want you to look at this next play. The Indiana Fever aren't getting stops on one end. They're still down 14 points, but on the offensive side, your two best players, Caitlin and Aliyah Boston, at least in this game, are your two best players. They did not stop playing. Caitlin Clark, look at her going to her left, coming off this step back mid-range jump shot. That is pure, dude. That mid-range looks amazing from Caitlin Clark. Her whole game looks amazing. She's definitely been training over the offseason. She's stronger, she's faster, she's quicker. Her dribble move is more pure, and she's way more efficient. She shot at 45% from the field and 45% from three in this game. That is literally spectacular. That's amazing splits from Caitlin Clark. I love what I saw from her out there. When it comes to being efficient, she was making her shots in that mid-range game. Once again, dude, it's looking pure. That's the part of her game that we were like, if she adds that, she's going to be a whole nother animal. Now, Kelsey Mitchell did pick it up in the second half. Look at her going to her left off that insane dribble move to get down low. Easy layup for Kelsey Mitchell. She did pick up the pace in this game. At first, it seemed like she was trying to find her place in the game. It really seemed like she was kind of lost out there, but she did end up finding where she needed to be on the court, and she did attack, which allowed the Indiana Fever to get back into this game. And look at this. To start off the fourth quarter, you got Aliyah Boston down on that low post. She misses it, but look at Lexi Hull getting this rebound. I know you guys love this play when you saw it live. I love this play. Lexi Hull is just showing you who she is, getting that offensive rebound, bringing it out to the three-point line, and then she had the guts to shoot this one, y'all. I like this from Lexi Hull. I like the confidence she drilled it, man. I like to see her having confidence in herself because she was a 47% three-point shooter last year. You got to be willing to shoot those shots. Off an offensive rebound, take it out to the three-point line, and then shoot it. That's horrible for coaches. They do not like to see you do that, but if you got the skill to make it, you got the skill to make it. I like to see Lexi Hull being gutsy. That's what her friend Caitlin Clark likes to do. And look at this next play. Aliyah Boston gets it at the free throw line, and look at her going to work on that big man down there. Those are big players guarding her, and she is literally just getting right to the paint. She's going right where she wants to. Amazing footwork, amazing touch around the rim. Aliyah Boston was spectacular in this game. Now, I want you to look at this next play. Caitlin Clark is playing off ball. She gets it off the catch. Look at where she's at. She's way downtown shooting this shot. The defender is right in her face, but she's still drilling it, man. That shot looks pure, dude. She is doing stuff that no other WNBA player is doing, which is why everybody's tuning in. That's why you guys are watching this video. Even though the Indiana Fever lost, it's because we love Caitlin Clark. She's an amazing player. She's an amazing talent, and everybody loves watching Caitlin Clark. You come home from work, you watch Caitlin Clark. You have a long day in the office, you watch Caitlin Clark because she helps you wind down. She gets you excited. Now, what's not exciting is the in play where Natasha Howard is going for the win. I just don't know why that was happening. All the missed free throws from the Indiana Fever. I don't know why that's happening. Brittany Griner down there looking like freaking Shaquille O'Neal. I don't know why that's happening. But what is exciting is Caitlin Clark, and that makes up for it. Now, look at this next play. Look at Natasha Howard trying to do something with Brittany Griner down there. She's doing nothing. That's just Brittany Griner going to work, dogging on Natasha Howard in that paint, getting the easy layup. There's nothing Natasha Howard can do down there. That is just horrible. Horrible defense. And I can't really be mad at her because it's a mismatch, dude. You don't have the personnel to guard Brittany. So as much as I want to be mad and be like, this is a bad defensive play, these players are just kind of, up against a 6'9", player that's just kind of out of their league. These are some skinny players you got as your forwards in DeWanna Bonner and Natasha Howard, and then you got Aliyah Boston, who is just kind of exhausted on defense. And, she's sizey, and she can get those stops, but a lot of the time she just doesn't have enough effort on the defensive end. It might be the conditioning, but she's giving a lot on offense, man. She's doing a lot. She's setting all of those hard screens for Caitlin Clark to get her freed up. So, Aliyah's doing a lot. You can't really expect too much from her on the defensive end of the basketball. And these guys, they're just really small. So, the Indiana Fever need a lot of help. Michaela Timpson might be the help that you're looking for. Just saying. And look at this next play. You got the same exact thing going on. You got Brittany Griner isolated down there with Natasha Howard. She gets the ball, and, Natasha's not even there, dude. That might even be worse than Alyssa Smith. Literally. It really might be, y'all. she's not even there. Her presence is nothing down there. And Natasha Howard is a former Defensive Player of the Year, so I wasn't watching basketball at that time, so I wonder what kind of defense she was playing. Apparently, she wasn't really like a player who's going to stop the player who's trying to back down. Maybe she was like a, help defense kind of player. I honestly don't know, because her defense does not look too good right now. And look at this next play. I'm going to keep showing them. This is why the Fever lost. It's just back to back to back to back, and I know it hurts as a fan. It hurts me as a fan, but look at this defense, man. Aliyah Boston's down there trying to stop Brittany Griner now, and Brittany Griner's just going up and over her. Now, the question is this Brittany Griner's skill, or is it just our bad defense? You could go with the approach that this is just Brittany Griner's skill, but I think this is bad defense, man. You got to be more physical than that. You got to get up into their grill. You got to make it hard for the offensive player. You're just letting Brittany Griner get it up and over you, so you just got to do better. Now, this right here is where the Indiana Fever fight back. They're down 9 with 4 minutes left, and look at Caitlin giving it to Kelsey Mitchell, who hits that easy sidestep three-point jump shot. Now, that's not an easy shot, but it's easy for Kelsey Mitchell. She did pick it up in the second half of this game, and she looked pretty good out there today. There were some lapses, and, there was her trying to find her placing, and there were some of the ball hog plays from Kelsey Mitchell, but she did look great out there today at the end, and she helped them get back into the game. Now, it's time to get to some of that Natasha Howard questioning, because what the heck was she doing out there? Honestly, I don't know what we're doing on this play. There's 2 minutes, 30 seconds left in this game. You're giving it to Natasha Howard to shoot whatever the heck that is. No, seriously, what is that? Can somebody please explain to me what this is, and then, why she remained in the game after that? Because I just don't know what that's supposed to be. Now, check this out. You do force a miss right here. You see them pick up the physicality, so that's kind of a welcoming sign for all fans. If you're wondering if they can force a miss from Brittany Griner, you can, and it might just be that Brittany missed a shot, but she did miss one before this as well. I think they did pick up the intensity in the last 3 minutes of this game, and off the rebound, Caitlin Clark pushes it up the court, gets an easy layup. She cuts it to 4. This is spectacular from the Indiana Fever. They have fought their way back into the game. They could have been burnt out. They could have been like, man, we can't stop this team. Our defense is trash. But they kept playing, and that's the thing you like to see if you're a fan. And look at this next play off an air ball from Ryan Howard. I don't know what the heck she's doing here. You get the ball. Caitlin Clark pushes it up the pace, and what an amazing pass she throws it to Aliyah Boston, man. That's just beautiful. You cut it to 2. The Indiana Fever are rallying. All the momentum is on their side right here. At this point, I'm like, this is the Fever's game. They should really win this. And look at this. They really did pick up their defense in the last 3 minutes of this game, so this is really encouraging. Look at this defense from Aliyah Boston on Brianna Jones, and you cause that travel right there. That's what you love to see. You would have loved this to be your defense throughout the whole game. So maybe it's going to be conditioning, so we can play like this throughout the entire game. But I think it really is that they're just incompetent, and they don't also have the personnel to play defense like this throughout the whole game. And you're also getting the Atlanta Dream when they're tired. So it might not just be your defense. It might be that Atlanta's kind of tired and they're burnt out. They don't have the momentum. So I really don't know how to assess this. It is just the second game, so I won't look too deeply into it, even though I am looking very deeply into it. That's what we're all doing here. But, I'll let it be for now. We won't overreact. But I don't know. The defense was looking pretty bad in this game, but at least they were able to get stops when it mattered most. And look at this beautiful play. There's about 1 minute and 10 left, and you're thinking Caitlin Clark is going to go to it, but this is an amazing play call from Steph White to go to Kelsey Mitchell, because Kelsey Mitchell is going to be a lot more open here than Caitlin Clark is, and you're going to get a better shot attempt, and Kelsey Mitchell also has ice in her veins. She ties it up. It's 89-89. At this point, dude, Indiana has gone on a whole super run. They should win this game. They should win. There should be no ifs, ands, or buts about it, but I think this was kind of a loss because of the referees. I want you to check this out. There's 20 seconds left, and I could be very wrong about this play, but I'm pretty sure Ryan Howard initiates this offensive contact. It's not even a natural shooting motion. This should not be 2 free throws for Ryan Howard. I don't know how this ended up being 2 free throws for her, but she definitely initiates this contact. And with these refs that literally call no fouls every single time Aliyah Boston or Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell's getting hacked, it's crazy they will call this foul at the end of the game. I don't think there's enough here for 2 free throws, dude. It's kind of rushed. You could have reviewed it. I don't even know if they can review this, but I just don't like this call, dude. Ryan Howard is initiating that contact. She's going into the defender. And yes, Kelsey Mitchell does foul her, but she has nothing else to do but foul her. She kind of just lunges into Kelsey Mitchell, and that's 2 free throws. Now, this is the last play of the game, the play I've been mad about the entire video, and you guys have probably been waiting to see it if you did not watch the game. This is what you go to. Caitlin Clark doesn't get any anybody open on that inbound pass. So she goes down to Natasha Howard, and Natasha Howard misses the first attempt, gets the rebound, and then she thinks she's like Kobe on the baseline shooting this mid-range jump shot. I don't know what's going on, man. The Indiana Fever had a timeout. So on the inbound, what I would have liked to see is you call the timeout, because I'm just hoping that this isn't what we wrote up, on the sideline for Steph White. I'm hoping that this isn't the play we wanted to go to for Steph White. I'm assuming it's because Kaden didn't have any other options that she gave it down to Natasha Howard. And off the first miss, I would have tried to call timeout, but obviously, like, the time is ticking, and when you call timeout, like, you've lost a lot of seconds. So, it's not much you can do. I would have tried to call timeout if I couldn't get the initial pass in. I'm giving Steph White the benefit of the doubt. I'm hoping that this wasn't the play she drew up. I'm hoping that we weren't planning on going to Natasha Howard after the bull crap she threw up at the 2:30-minute mark. Like, I just, in the 4 free throws she missed in a row, I refuse to believe the plan was to go to Natasha Howard at the end of this game. But you know what? After looking at the play again, y'all, I think this was the play. I think that's what Steph White was trying to do. I might take it back, man. I'm not going to refuse to believe it. I think that's what Steph White was trying to do. This is a screen that it just looks like where they were trying to go. It seemed like they were trying to go to Natasha Howard. I think that was the play call, y'all. I'm trying to give y'all the benefit of the doubt in this video, but I changed my mind. That was the play call. But yeah, y'all, that's where I'm going to end off this video. I'm sure this was a freaking long one. I'll see what it ends up being once I edit it. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I certainly did, man. This was a very difficult loss to endure as a fan, but they did lose it, and you got to keep pushing forward. Win the next game. You get to play this team again on Thursday. You got to win. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I certainly did, man. Peace out.